Hello everyone, this is Adnan with another video on AWS Certified Solutions Architect Associate Certification. This is part 2 of the VPC configuration in AWS environment. So in the first video, in part 1 of the video, what we did, we just created a very simple VPC. So created a simple VPC, created one subnet and attached and created a EC2 instance. Then we configured internet gateway group. So in this video we are going to make a new VPC, and then we will create two subnets inside, private subnet. So one subnet will be called private subnet, the other subnet will be called public subnet. Public subnet, we are going to have two EC2 instances, Windows instance in the public instance and another Windows instance in the private instance. And so Windows instance in the public instance will have a public IP address to which we will be able to connect, and from here we will be able to connect to this instance. So this instance won't have any public IP address. So the idea is to configure two different subnets in which we can connect to this instance from internet from here, and then from this instance we will connect inside the public subnet to this second instance. So let's get started. So what we need to do is we need to go into first of all VPC, create a new VPC for our for this lab, and here so this will be called pass demo VPC2, and the subnet address range we are going to choose is 12.0.0.0/16, and the tag is the same. So VPC is created. The second thing what we need to do according to our architecture, so one thing that is very important, that whenever you work with VPCs or networking, always go back to your architecture and see what you are doing so that you can make accordingly. So here I created a VPC. Now the second thing that I need to do, I need to create two subnets, one public and one private, and this is the range that I am going to use. So I'm going to copy this range from here and create a subnet. So I'm going to create a subnet, and when I'm creating a subnet, this subnet will be part of VPC2, and the name of the subnet will be so this is a public subnet, and here the range according to our architecture will be this, and create a subnet. And secondly, I will again create the second subnet. It will be part of our VPC2, and the name of the VPC will be, name of the subnet will be private. So this will be a private subnet, and here I am going to choose a different range, which is this one. So this is the second subnet. So it's all done. So two subnets are created, private subnet and a public subnet. And if I select this subnet here, so this one is, so it is attached to this routing table, so which means that it is attached to the VPC. The VPC has the subnet range of 12.0.0.16, which means that both subnets can freely talk to each other. So once this is done, one more thing that we need to do is to install a internet gateway for this VPC. So I'm going to create a new internet gateway. So I'm going to call this IGW02 Internet Gateway 2, and because I already have one with the other name that we created in the previous lab, and once you create an internet gateway, we must attach it to a VPC. So I'm going to attach it to this VPC, which is 2 attached to internet gateway. So this is done, and one more thing that I need to do in the routing table, so that this VPC should have a route through internet gateway to go out on the internet. So for that I need to select this VPC the one that we are working on, go to routes, edit route, and here I'm going to add a route for internet access. So select all the traffic going to internet gateway this and save. So now we have open internet for this VPC. So now what we need to do is go to EC2 instances, launch, create 2 Windows instances. You can create Linux instances as well. So, but in my case, I'm going to create Windows instances because Windows instances, it will be much easier to understand the way we are connecting. You can do it. It can be done through Linux instances as well. So this is our first instance, and this instance will be part of our VPC that we just created, and it will be part of the public group. And so for that we need a public IP address as well. In the storage we don't need anything else. In the tag we do need to name this. So this is pass demo Windows 01. The security group, I need to name it accordingly, and I don't need to open any other port other than 3389. The key that I'm going to use is this existing key, but we can select any other key from there. So, and from here, view instances. So one Windows instance is being created. I'm going to create another instance. Remember that we need to create one instance for our private subnet. So the second instance will be this Windows 2016, and from here in the configuration we need to make sure that it connects to our VPC and it connects to the private, and no need for the public IP address. So it will act like a Bastion system. So I named this Windows demo, pass demo Windows private. No need for any other port, and launch. So I'm going to wait for a few minutes for both instances to be launched, and then we will log in to the instances and see that how they are able to access. How can we access these instances? So one instance, this is a public instance, and I should name it as well. So this one is public instance, this is a private instance, and both instances are being created. I think this one is created, and I'm going to try and connect to this. So first of all, to get the password, I need to choose the file, and the file I need to take it from my C drive. Users, and in here this is the key file, and decrypt the password. So this is the password for this. So I'm going to copy this password on a notepad so that I don't need to go back again here, and all I need to do is connect to this EC2 instance. So since it has, this instance had the public access, and I am able to connect to this instance. I should be able to connect to this instance since this one has the public access. So the other IP address, the other instance which is sitting on the other subnet doesn't have public access, but that instance can be connected from this instance. So once this is connected, then we will connect to that instance. In the meantime, we will try to get the password for the public instance. So I'm gonna go here, decrypt the password, and okay, so it's still not ready. It is still not ready, and I'm gonna refresh this. It is still being created. So now the main purpose of this exercise is that we need to create a EC2 instance. We created our own EC2 instance. We created an internet gateway connected to EC2 instance, and then we added a route table in here as well, and then we were able to connect to this instance. Now from this instance we should be able to connect to this instance which is sitting in another subnet. The idea behind this is to understand that when you have two subnets within the same VPC, you don't need to do any routing in between them, no need to do pairing in between them. Peering is only required in VPCs. In subnets you don't need peering. Subnets in one VPC can automatically talk to each other, so we haven't done anything on the subnet level other than that we created the subnets. So once this machine, we are logged into this machine which is right here, this is the one. Now I need to get the password of this machine and connect from the public this instance, because this machine is not publicly available. So I'm gonna go back here. Most probably I should be able to get the password. Yes, I am able to get the password, and for this private instance I got the password. I'll copy this, and that's it. I just need to copy this, and I also need the IP address. So IP address is 2.46. So when I go here within this other instance, from here I need to use the private IP address. So first of all I will open remote desktop connection. So remote desktop connection, and within remote desktop connection I need to type the IP address of the other VM. So the IP address will be 2.24. Let me confirm that one more time. So the IP address is 2.46. 2.46. So remember that the IP address of this one is 1.12112, which is in the public subnet, and this is the private IP address because they need to connect to the private IP address. And here we need to connect. It is trying to connect here. So administrator and the password that I copied from there, and okay. So it is connecting. So now we are able to connect to that other instance as well. So this is that instance we are able to connect. So in this video we have seen that we can create two subnets within one VPC, and we can connect from one subnet to another subnet without routing, without any special routing techniques, or maybe because the subnets within one VPC, they can automatically talk to each other, and they can automatically talk to each other because in the routing table there is a route automatically present, and I'm going to show you that route. So this is VPC, and if you go to VPC and you go to routes here, and this is the route. So the complete subnet of 12.0.0.0/16 in this complete subnet, so this is a huge number of IP addresses, around 65,000 IP addresses. So all the subnets that are part of this complete address space can automatically talk to each other. So thank you for watching this video. I will see you in another video.